Welcome back to Garbage Time. It's episode 6. We have a lot on the docket today. Timberwolves, Nuggets, Hawks, Lakers, in-season tournament. Something about high amount of losses or something that Dan wants to talk about. I'm joined by Cam, Kyle, and Dan. I'm Ben. We're back. Let's jump right into it. Timberwolves. Timberwolves are on a hot streak. So they beat the Warriors by 17 last night, or 2 nights ago. They beat the Clippers by 28. They beat the Lakers by 29. And then they beat the Clippers by 1 on ESPN. So those are 4 good wins. Is Curry still out?
He wasn't out in that game against the Wolves.
Okay. So those are 4 good wins. Kyle, do you think the Wolves can contend in the playoffs with this roster? Randall, DiVincenzo, etc.
I still think they can. Did not love the Cat trade, as we're all aware. I thought Cat was awesome. Yeah. I think they can contend just because Ant's amazing. I think in general they are super talented. If Randall does keep it together, like that is still a really good team, which is big if, but like it is still a really good team. DiVincenzo is like a good bench player. Naz Reid's a good bench player. Like they really do have a solid team with like it can go 10 deep and play. So I still think they can contend. I think it's really just the maturity is going to be of Ant basically, because without like Cap kind of being the older voice in the room, there is Conley there, but it really just depends on Ant being a mature.
Do you think people take Conley seriously at this point in his career?
That's the problem. He's not good enough to really be like your vet that's contributing anymore.
Yeah. I mean, DiVincenzo's kind of not been doing hot, averaging 10, I guess 37% from 3. I guess he's doing what you need him to do. But Randall's body language is tough. So, yeah, I guess it is on Ant to carry that locker room. Cam, do you think they can contend?
I'm not as confident they can. I also am starting to think the Cat trade's looking better for the Knicks, even though they haven't looked as good as maybe some people thought. It's crazy how they expected something to go different when literally everywhere Randall's gone, it's been the exact same story. Like puts up good numbers, big ups and downs, and everyone is angry at him. Like
he's the worst body language of all time.
Just the absolute worst. Just like he's just not a likable guy. And especially with the question marks about Ant leading the team. I just don't know if they can get the locker room together. There's a lot of talent, but you gotta have more cohesion than that.
Dan, what do you think?
I need to see them beat some more legit teams.
I mean, Clippers. I hear you.
Like
they beat the Suns.
Yeah. Again, I need to see them beat some more legit teams. Like they lost to Sacramento.
Like if they beat Celtics
back to back to back.
They beat Celtics or Thunder. Would you be impressed?
Yes.
Are those like
that? That's like legit. I mean, they've got a game coming up on the 19th against the Knicks. I think that's going to be a good test. And then it depends how they finish out in the next 6 games. They're playing Golden State 3 times, so that's going to be interesting to see how they split that series up with a healthy Warriors team.
So Cavs are still top of the East, but I think we can all agree Celtics and Cavs are the top are like the 2 contenders in the East. Who do you guys think will come out of the West? Kyle, you start. Thunder currently leading, then Dallas, then Grizzlies somehow. Who do you think is going like early prediction? Who will win the Western Conference Finals?
The Warriors.
I hate you, dude.
Kyle's coping already. 30 games.
No, but I want to make one more point about the Wolves contending. I think the West it's a stacked conference, but I think it's kind of gotten worse almost in the fact that like a lot of teams that we thought were like traditionally get the Nuggets, get to them later, not as good. Suns are off to a little bit of a bumpy start. The Lakers are a disaster. Like it's not as tough maybe at the very top. It's like kind of wide open of a lot of good teams.
Wolves and Suns are tied. Their records are tied, and KD's been out like 7 games. So
no, exactly. I'm saying, but they've had KD getting hurt.
Yeah.
Bumpy.
Yeah. But
I'm coping, picking the Warriors.
Cam, what do you think?
Thunder if healthy. If they're not healthy, then it's a complete toss up. Except not the Grizzlies.
Dan, what do you think?
Pretty much the same thought. I mean, because if you look at those teams we were just talking about, like probably Warriors, Timberwolves, Suns, Clippers, like that's all the bottom of the conference. They're going to have the hardest path to the finals. Like I don't think any of those teams can really survive the gauntlet of going through Thunder and or Mavericks, Grizzlies, like to get to the finals. So it's either Thunder or anybody.
It just feels like whenever someone plays the Thunder, when I watch it, the Thunder are just so young and have so much energy and can like run you off the floor like I've never seen. You know, like that Warriors team with KD, that was just sheer skill. But this Thunder team is just sheer energy.
Is there any team in the West that we think can like confidently can beat the Celtics in a 7-game series?
I think the Thunder could. I think they play too quickly. I think the Celtics, and they're good at defense. I think they also have more chemistry, honestly. Even though the Celtics won the finals, I think Thunder, like they've built this team up. They really haven't had like the same 1-2 drama that Brown and Tatum had. So I think they could.
I think the Wolves can beat the Celtics. I think with McDaniels and Ant, that's like two great wing defenders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my best against the Celtics.
Anyone else?
Warriors one more time. I mean, they did it in 2022. None of us thought we were going to do it then.
It's a very
Buddy Hield has a great series.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Dude, they're just hanging in there, the Warriors. That's why I'm scared. They're just hanging in there.
Yeah. They're currently 5th in the West, 13-9. Just a game and a half back behind the Rockets. Okay, let's keep it in the West. Let's talk about the Nuggets. They're 11-10. Kyle proposed the question, are they dead? So they lost to the Wizards last night by 9. They lost to the Cavs, which is fair, by 12. But they beat the Warriors, but then they lost to the Clippers. So they're kind of all over the place. Kyle, what do you think? Do you think they're dead?
Probably.
Okay, why do you think that?
Because they can't beat the Warriors.
I mean, the rest of just everyone outside of Jokic just seems to be bad. Like Gordon is probably their number 2 player at this point if he actually plays and's healthy. Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray lost everything he has ever had, but he is a good playoff player, so maybe he'll turn it on again. I
saw a clip where he had some real bad body language. Like he doesn't want to be there anymore. Type beat.
It's like they also have bad body, like Russ. They have Porter Jr. They have a lot of guys that are just a little iffy.
I feel like it's tough, like once you win a championship, to kind of run it back with the same crew. The way the Nuggets are built, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously the Warriors did it, but if you don't have like one guy who's all like their best guy is Jokic, who doesn't really give a shit if they win the finals or not.
Do you think he doesn't really care? I don't think he
doesn't care. I think you need a guy who really cares. And now that they won the finals, I don't think any of them really care at all.
But like, is this on Jokic at all? I mean, he's averaging 31.5, 13.6 rebounds, 10.3 assists. Like his
ridiculous
stats are video game numbers.
But I think it goes beyond that to like, I mean, I hate to do the like whole leadership thing, locker room mentality, but I really don't think he's like motivating the guys, being like, we got to get it together, guys. We gotta get our title back. There's no way he's doing that in the locker room, and none of the other guys are. So
like, Vlatko Konchar is doing that.
Christian Brown, perhaps. Christian Brown's probably like the closest to that.
And do you think there's any other top 8 team in either conference in which Christian Brown averages 15 points a game? This has to be the only situation outside of the Raptors or like the Wizards that he could do this.
I think he could do it on the Suns as currently, if like given enough touches.
What's the point?
I could put up 15 if he gave me enough touches.
Okay, Nuggets are dead. I think they're just cooked, and I don't think Jokic cares. He's not gonna like push for any trades. He's not gonna put pressure on the front office.
I mean, if you look back to the title they won too, it was kind of lucky title. Like there's always says things are lucky, but like they beat the Lakers who are old and dead, and then they beat the 8 seed Heat. Like it was kind of like they got a little fortunate too with the draw.
That's a good point.
I'll give another take while we're on this because I know I mentioned this before on the pod. I compared them to the Bucks last year, where you're kind of a couple years out from the title. Your players are starting to get older. I don't want to blame Jokic at all. I actually want to give big ups to KCP for this.
Sure.
And to a lesser extent, Bruce Brown. I mean, you look at Drew Holiday leaving the Bucks and the effect that was. KCP won a title with the Lakers, went to the Nuggets, won a title again. Now he's on the Magic. They're good. Like I know it's not entirely on him, but you replace him with Christian Brown, and you're trying to have a defensive team and like just a guy who knocks down threes as a culture guy. I think losing that piece, and again, it's what happens when you win a title. That your guys cost more money. You get a championship boost. Brown got paid the most ridiculous contract in history. KCP also got the bag. Like that's just the nature of winning a title. I don't think you can blame it all on Jokic because he's doing so much.
No.
I think it would help the Nuggets to shorten their rotation. I mean, because they have a solid 8-man right now that they're running. Like, do they go down to 7? And do you think that helps?
Their bench really is so atrocious.
Julian Strother's getting 21 minutes a game.
I know.
You don't like Zeke Naji?
Like Peyton Watson should not have hands, honestly. Their second line is really abysmal. I mean, Russ, Peyton Watson, Zeke Naji, Julian Strother.
Play 8 to 9 guys. Or you're going to run out.
Yeah, Super Dario's getting 14 minutes for them.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like you really need your core 6, I would say, to play every single game perfectly in the playoffs to win the finals and not get injured and not get tired.
Even then, like your second best player, Aaron Gordon's getting 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Malik Beasley needs to come home. He needs to come home.
Where is he now?
The Pistons.
Jesus Christ,
that's easy to get. Actually, I think he might not have played all year. Might be hurt. No, he's playing. Never mind. Yeah.
All right, let's move to the East. The Hawks. Are they good? They beat the Lakers. They beat the Bucks. They beat the Pelicans. They beat Hornets, Cavs twice, all in a row, 6 in a row. Dyson Daniels, we talked about. He's having an incredible year. Cam, how do you feel about Hawks to a potential championship?
I hate you, but you guys know how I feel about this. I've been going on for the last 4 years about how the Hawks are brilliantly constructed, and this iteration is going back to really what I was seeing back then. Getting rid of DeJounte Murray, that whole experiment of 2-ball dominant guys. I mean, Trey needs the ball 24/7. So what do you do when you have a guy like Trey? You have the ultimate defensive player next to him. You have a bunch of 6'9" guys who could shoot, and then a center who can set amazing picks, and that's your team. There's your construction. They're not that talented in comparison to other teams, but they're built so good, and they can just beat people in so many different ways with that offense.
It's a good point.
Really like Jalen Johnson. Sad I had to trade him to you. Really like DeAndre Hunter. And they've, like we said, the rotation, they've got 7 or 8 guys that are real starter quality. So I'm a big fan.
They really are finally built like the Warriors, like you said 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
They are.
Yeah.
They totally are.
Daniels, if he were a little better at shooting, he's kind of like Clay. Trey's like Curry. Capella's like Festus Ezeli. Hunter's like Iggy or Barnes. And Jalen Johnson's, I guess, like Draymond. Yeah, no, it's a good build for sure. Dan, what do you think about the Hawks? Do you think they could make the Eastern Conference Finals?
I mean, because it's the East, like they definitely have a shot. I think DeAndre Hunter becoming like a legit basketball player is one of the more surprising things. I was not high on him coming out of college, and he's very steadily improved year over year to be like a very serious, guy that can work on I don't know, call them a contender, but in a solid playoff team. Like I think the Hawks can maybe, if they get the right seed, could sneak into like the conference semis.
Yeah.
But it just depends, because like they're one of those teams where it's like if they're hot, then they're one of the more difficult teams to beat. But if they're cold, then like the Pistons on a good night could beat them.
It's a good point. Yeah, they have lost to the Mavs, Bulls, Warriors in the past.
Yeah,
Trey's changed his game to be more of a team player. Like his points are down a few points per game, but his assists are never been higher, 12 assists a game. So
yeah, 12 is nutty. I think I saw something that's like the last person to average like over 12 assists was like John Stockton or something like that, like in a season.
That's crazy.
He finally feels bought into like a system versus being a big issue.
So, like a massive liability.
Yeah.
They did lose to Washington twice and beat Cleveland twice. Like,
yeah, it makes
no sense.
Their roster's crazy. I mean, they have 3 dudes averaging pretty much 20 points a game, which is insane.
Who?
Yeah.
Trey, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter.
Damn.
They got big body Roddy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shout out David Roddy. 6 points per game this year on 15.4 minutes. Not bad.
Huge.
All right, let's close out. Well, before we get to the losses segment, Dan, let's talk about the Lakers. Kyle, you have a lot to say about them.
Dude, they suck. It's the best. We knew this was coming. It's the best.
So bad.
Just like there's the Buddy Hield cycle of him being good for 10 games. The Lakers love starting the season kind of fast. Yeah. And then everyone gets hurt. LeBron's doing his post game. We don't have top rotation. He's doing his excuses in the post game presser, which is always good. And I've already seen Lakers Twitter, like legit Lakers people saying like maybe Darvin Ham wasn't the problem.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they had Redick and Ham had the same record through like 23 games or something. It was like
and then they just
12 and 11.
Bronny is like not the problem, but like exasperated. Like now he's sitting out with like a heel injury. It's like, dude, when you guys we start having 5 or 6 guys hurt, and Bronny's like you can't even throw in the game because you know it's such a joke. You're in disaster mode. Like they've been drafting horrible for years. They've drafted horrible people.
Hey, Connect 4 wasn't a bad pick.
Actually, it's a good pick.
Yeah, it's a great pick.
But otherwise,
they just I feel like they always trade for guys that are always super hurt. Jared Vanderbilt, one big example, and they just love that excuse. It's like LeBron wants the excuse.
Gabe Vincent, yeah,
he wants the excuse that they're not playing, so to run it back next year.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It sucks.
Does Gabe Vincent win least? Like, what's the reverse of most improved player? Like,
yeah, most
biggest
receded. Yeah, exactly.
That's like anyone who leaves the Heat. That's just what happens when that. I mean, the Hood Shafino pick was horrible. Like that was right before
that was abysmal.
Odds and Hawkes were picked. Like, can you imagine how much one of those guys would have helped? Like, it's crazy.
Do they trade either the players, LeBron or AD, ever? You think?
This is what I was saying. One of these episodes, I think they got to ship one of them to secure their future.
I mean, they on paper they have to, but as far as like the franchise goes, like there's no way.
Never gonna
do that.
Just trade AD. You can't trade LeBron, of course.
I mean, but for what though? Like, what could they possibly get in return that's going to be like any better?
I think you could trade him to like the Bulls. It's the same thing as we talked about last week.
For Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, and Patrick Williams.
It's got to be the Rockets.
I mean, that would help.
The Rockets are
the Rockets would be crazy.
Like the Rockets could trade Sengun and Van Vliet and then picks. It's probably enough salary.
Gosh, Van Vliet.
They wouldn't trade Sengun.
There's no way.
Van Vliet and D'Lo would be so electric.
Dude.
But they have a lot of
Van Vliet is just like he's Gabe Vincent if he was good.
He's the Michael Jordan of Gabe Vincent.
He's the Michael Jordan of Gabe Vincent.
Oh god, that's so good. Okay, Dan, tell me about this losses thing.
So I was looking because this was all spawned by the massive game that Jokic had last night against the Wizards, in which they lost. And I feel like there's been a lot of these like massive games, but they're coming in losses now, like more so this season than previous seasons. Like we're less than halfway there. And we have De'Aaron Fox leading the league with 60 points in a loss this year.
Hold this out.
Jokic with 56, LaMelo with 50. So we already have 3 50-point game losses, not even halfway through the season. And there were 7 all of last year.
Like Book scoring 70 and lost to the C's.
So Book was actually number 1 last year also, 62 points in a loss against the Pacers. Number 7.
Free book.
Number 7 last year was Malachi Flynn scoring 50 against the Hawks.
That was iconic. That was so iconic.
It's a classic.
That is interesting.
Like, I think the age of defense is dead.
Yeah, it really is. I don't think I guess this kind of speaks to the state of the All-Star game too. Like, I think people just don't give a shit about defense. And that's why, like, in the All-Star game, you see the worst version of that. Like, the furthest extreme of people not giving a shit on defense and just wanting to run up the score. I mean,
I think it's common for people to start ball watching. Like, I remember Cat last year, I think might have had 60 or really high 50s against the Hornets.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves lost that game. And Finch was so pissed because basically the whole fourth quarter was just Cat hunting for his everyone's wanting the numbers to go up.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that happens a lot of times.
I mean, how can you not? I do you think this is like a social media problem? I also think like Adam Silver probably is for this because like people don't really tune into the NBA to watch great defense for the most part. People just want to see people score. I think they want something competitive, unlike the All-Star game, but I don't know. Maybe social media is part of the problem because like if you score 60, you're going to be talked about on social media. So it's like an ego thing.
Yeah.
We sound
but I guess
it's soft.
We'll see how the in-season tournament goes because that also is like they want people to be playing hard earlier in the year. So let's see. I mean, we got LeMickey in the finals last year, so we didn't really get a good sense of it. But we'll see. We'll see this year with these teams.
So Dan, I wanted to ask you about this. I saw like some take, like what happened to the Devin Booker. Like he doesn't seem hungry anymore. It doesn't look like he's ever going to drop 50. He just seems kind of lethargic. What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out a little bit. If he's like not like playing passively, but trying to be. I mean, like with KD out, we're seeing a little bit more of the books going out there, and he's just trying to get buckets. But it's an interesting. I think they're still figuring out the dynamic with him and KD. I mean, because even though they've been on the same team for 2 years, like I feel like they haven't played that many games together.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of figuring that out where it was a much more natural fit where I'm sure Chris Paul, where he was like, Book, go get a bucket, go score. Yeah. Like he was kind of giving him that initiative. So I think it's hard for Book to stand up next to two guys, technically, if you count Bradley Beal, that should be going out there and also putting up 20 points per game.
I mean, even last night, though, KD was out and Book only dropped 21. Royce O'Neal was the leading scorer in the Suns with 23.
Yeah, that was bad.
I think he's like almost trying to be too complete of a basketball player and like make the right passes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a coaching issue where they're like telling him to do certain things or not, but like, I don't know. I feel like Tyus Jones should have fixed this issue, and here we are.
Yeah. He hasn't shot well at all. I mean, he's shooting very 33.9% from three. Like that is awful.
Yeah, career good. Worst.
Maybe an identity problem.
Only Cam probably got his team.
We're going to be back with our bets for the week and talk about the in-season tournament a little bit because that's what they'll be based on. Welcome back. We have some bets for you this week. The in-season tournament games are Tuesday and Wednesday. The teams playing this week are
Magic Bucks, Mavericks Thunder, Hawks Knicks, and Warriors Rockets.
Thank you, Dan. So I think we're each going to pick a game. I get to go first since... I guess we need to give a betting update. I'm 0-5.
Here's your update. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Dan, you're 3-2, right? Because you faded me. You faded me.
I faded Ben last week.
1-0 on fading on the inverse Ben. Cam, what are you? 2-3?
2-3. Yeah, I let Kyle get my winner last week and then picked a loser. So that's on me.
Kyle, you're 4-1?
4-1, baby.
All right. I am going to take. Where'd it go? Mavericks +5 against the Thunder.
I so knew that was your pick.
0-6. 0-6.
No. I feel good about this one. I like how they match up against the Thunder. I think Luka's too big for the defenders. Kyrie will go off. PJ Washington matches up well. I just like the matchup. I think +5 is friendly. Yeah, that's what I'm picking. So reverse order. Cam, what do you have?
Just checking the lines on DK real quick just to make sure, but I'm definitely going to be going for where is it? Yeah, Hawks plus 8.5 against the Knicks.
Great pick.
I like that. We were just glazing the Hawks.
Yeah,
sense.
I don't need to say anymore. I've already done enough.
Yeah. Dan, what do you have?
I did want to bet on the Mavericks Thunder game. I was going to bet the under on that, but because you chose that game, I'll do a different one.
Okay.
I like Bucks -9 against the Magic.
I like that too. Thought about it.
Yeah.
Just because Franz is out now too. Like
Yeah.
there's
They have no one.
they have nobody. Like Jalen
KCP
Suggs is not
50
going to
ball?
score 35.
No. Yeah.
Cole Anthony legacy game incoming.
Kyle, what do you have? Rockets
obviously-
Warriors is the only
It's
one
the
left.
Warriors. It's the Warriors
Let's
plus
really?
3. It's the Warriors plus 3.
Wow.
That's a good bet.
It's a
Mickey
great
Mouse. Mickey
It's the
Mouse.
in-season tournament. It's going to be the Warriors.
I like it. Yeah. They can't. NBA can't have the Rockets win.
Yeah.
All right.
The Rockets also have been looking bad recently. They've lost quite a few games recently, and
Yeah. And they don't really have any injuries.
Yeah, I think they're just unraveling as a franchise because
Just
they're
bad vibes.
fraudsters right now.
yeah.
Okay, we'll be back with the game. All right, welcome back. This is the game of the week. We are redrafting the historically horrendous 2012 NBA draft. If you're watching this video, you can see the big board of players drafted as well as everyone's picks. Cam is up first, then Kyle, then Dan. They're going to assemble a roster of 5 players. They're 5 best players that were drafted in 2012. The first pick in that year was Anthony Davis, followed by MKG, followed by Bradley Beal. So Cam, what do you have first?
Wow, I wonder what franchise picked Thomas Robinson. That was a really good pick. I'll do AD. I'll do AD. I'll keep it just like it was in real life.
All right.
I'll take
That
Dalla.
is definitely the right pick.
Give me Dalla.
Damian
Dalla.
Lillard for Kyle.
Because we're doing this at peak, I'm going to go Draymond. I don't want to do it, but I should.
Wow. Over Beal. All right. And on the wraparound?
Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a good wraparound.
Now we're getting to have to play real.
And now it's really dire.
I'm debating between Middleton and Barnes.
You don't
I
want
think-
Ogden Guzmich?
That feels like a slur.
It's truly not. Furkan Aldemir? Bro, all of these
I'm gonna-
people are not real. Is that Turkilmaz?
I'm going to go Barnes. I
Knew
don't
it.
like it.
Knew
But I don't
it.
like Middleton next to Lillard. There's no defense in that. We can't do that.
Middleton was good at defense in his peak.
I don't know.
Okay. Cam, I assume you have Middleton.
Yeah, I got Middleton. Oh God. I can't do. Could I do Drummond with AD? Like, I feel like this is 2012. I feel like you could do that. Like, AD loved being power forward back then, so
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll go Drummond.
Yeah, Drummond's just a poor man's boogie.
It's true.
Sure. Great rebound. Poor man's Tristan Thompson, honestly. Kyle.
Nice.
Boss man for sure.
Was Tristan Thompson ever on the Kings?
Tristan?
Yes.
Yeah, he was king.
That's so classic.
He was there
course
for like
he-
half a season, got traded for Sabonis. With,
Of course he
all those
was. Thank God. There's order in the universe.
I'm just looking at this list and I don't love it.
You got T. Ross. You got Jeremy Lamb. You got Mo Harkless.
Yeah, this is really dire now at this point. I think I need to take Myers Leonard. I'm not
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Hey, yo.
That's crazy.
That's
Before his little scandal, I guess that was his peak.
I don't know why I picked him.
No scandal, Myers Leonard. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Bad.
I'm impressed. Man, I think I got to scoop the only semi-legit point guard on this list. I got to go Tomas Satoransky.
No love for Austin Rivers, the literal lowest.
I said legit point guard. If I wanted a dude that was going to go out there and make a mixtape, I'd go get Austin Rivers. So at this point, I also need a big, which is not good. So unfortunately for that, I will have to take Raptors legend Jared Sullinger.
Of course.
Oh God.
Over Miles Plumlee.
Miles Plumlee was in this. Miles Plumlee,
Suns legend.
That's right.
I don't want Miles Plumlee, dude. Miles Plumlee sucks.
You don't want that guy. You don't want that guy.
All right. My team sucks. Just because I got to guard Draymond with awesomeness. Quincy Acey, the man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Another Sacramento alumni.
I like it. I like the pick. Stretch 4, I think. Cam, what do you have?
This is gross. It's prime Middleton, so I can probably play him at the 2. So I'll take Boss Man for the 3. My team's big. My team is quite large. There are no point guards who are anything worth it. So
Boss Man is Jay Crowder for those listeners who don't know.
Give me Evan Fournier running the point.
Jesus.
Woof.
Yeah.
I feel like Prime Fournier, he had the ball a lot.
You have a lot of defense. You have a lot of defense.
Yeah, why not? Just throw. I mean, he was putting up like 20 in his prime. Like he could score. You know.
I'm gonna take my last guy. I don't know how he's still on the board, but just because he's probably a joke. Dion Waiters.
I thought about it.
I thought about it too.
He was good in his prime. Kind of.
He was a bucket.
That is a crazy roster build. Myers Leonard holding it down at the 5. Dan, who do you have it?
At the 3? Yeah. My last pick at the 3. Oh my gosh. I guess it's Kent Bazemore.
I like it. I'm here for it, kind of.
Not Mike Scott.
Bro, the T. Ross erasure is devastating. No John Henson.
John Henson is so goofy.
He's so goofy. No Festus. Hate that. Okay.
I should have gone Terrence Ross, actually.
So you want Terrence Ross?
I want give me T. Ross. Give me 50 point. Give me 50 point score, Terrence Ross.
You need T. Ross. He picked 3rd. He's allowed to change it. Okay. Final rosters. Cam has AD, Middleton, Drummond, Jay Crowder, and Evan Fournier. Kyle has Dame, Harrison Barnes, Myers Leonard, Quincy Acey, Dion Waiters. Dan has Draymond Green, Bradley Beal, Tomas Satoransky, Jared Sullinger, and Terrence Ross. That's a crazy lineup.
I would actually want to see that rolled out in an actual NBA game.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Listeners, let us know who you think won. And guys, who do we think got it? I think it's probably Cam.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I can't believe you guys let him get Middleton. Peak Middleton and Drummond. This is kind of nuts.
Pete Barnes was just as good as Chris Middleton.
That is literally not true.
That's so not true.
Yeah,
literally not true.
That's a wild take.
All right.
They're both gold medalists.
That is true.
That is true.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
All right. That is another episode of Garbage Time. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.